From the beginning of time, man has always had a pursuit of the best quality of life possible. That quality of life is not possible without resources. The form of resources we have accumulated has changed over time from cowrie shells, state-controlled money, precious metals, real estate, and stocks and bonds. Over the past 100 years, the world has been dominated by the US dollar and its reserves. But everything that has a beginning also has an end. A new financial revolution is upon us with the emergence of a digital economy. The way we earn, spend, and accumulate resources is fundamentally changing. A new asset has appeared that the wealthy have overlooked. Bitcoin has become the best performing asset of the past decade by far. With only 21 million ever in existence, there are more millionaires and billionaires in the world today than there are Bitcoin. Just by holding 0.25 Bitcoin today, will put you in the top 1% asset holders in the world in the next 5 to 10 years. If you had invested $100,000 in Bitcoin in 2013, today it will be worth more than $15 million. Bitcoin billionaire Raoul Pal says, Bitcoin's performance is so dominant and so all-encompassing that it is going to suck in every single asset narrative dry and spit it out. Never before in my career have I seen a trade so dominant that holding any other assets makes almost no sense. This is not an industry you can afford to ignore. If you want to remain in business, then you must adapt. Are you offering services in Bitcoin? Are you accepting payments with digital currencies? Have you adopted blockchain technology? Blockbuster Video at one point was the most dominant video service in the world. They had the opportunity to be part of Netflix, but they ignored the changing technology. Where is Blockbuster today? Where will you be tomorrow?
Meccano, the cat of tomorrow. No feeding, no fussing, no fur. Clean, efficient, dependable. Thomas! Oh, Thomas! Come in here and see what I've got. Thomas, meet Meccano. Mr. Meccano here is taking your job as mouse catcher. Are you through laughing, Tom? Then watch this. Is it okay if I laugh now, Tom? That's how it is, Tom. Progress. The machine age and stuff like that.
I want to ask a completely different question for you, Tom, because he's our overall ETF maven here. We have seen a spate of new Bitcoin ETF offerings recently, including from BlackRock. Even though everybody knows the SEC and Gary Gensler is completely hostile to the idea, and everybody said, well, they're going to say no to a Bitcoin ETF, just like they said no to everybody else. But I'm wondering why now? What does BlackRock think they're going to get out of this effort?
You can't get away from your favorite subject here, can
you?
Well,
people ask me about it, and I don't have an easy answer for it. I always think I'm missing something here.
I think you're right. I think your sniffer
you think
usually
I'm missing
is
something?
No. I think you're onto something. I think your sniffer is always really pretty good, Bob. If BlackRock all of a sudden has filed for a Bitcoin ETF that's not futures based, it's spot Bitcoin,
right.
Okay? And Gensler said, no way, that's not going to happen. But at the same time, they're bringing together some pretty good partners from a custody standpoint. They've got Bank of New York Mellon, they've got Coinbase.
Right.
They've got an agreement, a surveillance agreement with NASDAQ to help with the security aspect of it. So they're trying to show the SEC that they're putting all the safety provisions in place to give them the confidence, to give them that acceptance of their application. I think the big thing we know, as Gensler said, we're not going to do anything there unless we have the exchanges regulated, and Coinbase is not regulated.
But that's my question. Do you think this is going to change their mind? I can't without the clear regulatory authority, and they're not getting a bill through Congress. So now he's just resorted to essentially suing everybody. He's trying to regulate essentially by filing complaints.
Yeah.
I don't see how this changes.
If anybody can get it done, would you bet against BlackRock?
No.
You know, they're the behemoth, right? They're the.
That's why I'm thinking. I still don't quite get.
Yeah.
How are they going to change his mind?
I mean, if they can partner with Coinbase and say, look, you agree to get regulated, what would that do to your business? Imagine institutional investments, just 1% allocation to Coinbase, and what that would mean. We're talking about a lot of money.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people like you that are saying, is this finally the time? Is it going to happen?
We're going to follow this very carefully, folks, because, again, they're not going to waste their time.
Yeah.
Trust me, BlackRock isn't, if they don't think they have some chance of doing something here.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Tuesday morning, early morning crypto talk. Bitcoin Brandon from Los Angeles, California. This is a modified crypto talk. We are doing this for the public today. Normally, this would just be inner circle, but this information is big that I need to expose it to as many people as possible so that I will be able to at least sleep good at night, knowing that I attempted to get the word out. Those of you in the inner circle, you've already been hearing this, but I got new information for you. And those of you not in the inner circle, I'm going to give you a taste of what we've already been studying and why you want to be in the inner circle. It pays to be in the inner circle. So what's got me fired up today? Well, I woke up this morning and I was about to do our regular crypto talk for my inner circle, and we had some great topics to cover. For example, we were going to be talking about blockchain, how blockchain could authenticate AI as crypto starts to rack up court victories. We're going to talk about what will be the next target of the SEC's enforcement regime? Who are they going to go after next? Also had BitGo, Swan unveils plans for Bitcoin-only trust company. Also, what is a decentralized money market? And how does it work? And Ripple bags Nevada license through Fortress Trust acquisition. So outside of just reading the charts, those were going to be our topics this morning. And then I saw a message from my friend out of the UK, Melissa. And Melissa dropped to me a new video that the Altcoin Daily just dropped yesterday. And it is exactly about what I've been talking about the billionaires and the people who actually rule the world, what they're doing and what they're saying. And I always say, follow what they do, not what they say. So that video, for those of you that got here on time, that I just played, showing the news pundits, the financial pundits that report on what big financial institutions are doing, they're perplexed. They're confused. Why is BlackRock moving into Bitcoin? Why are they trying to have a spot, not futures, but a spot Bitcoin ETF? Why are they taking that risk? I mean, don't they know that the SEC is going after everybody? Don't they know that Gary Gensler is suing everybody? By the way, Gary Gensler is starting to get himself set up for a cushy job after he leaves the SEC. And I would not be surprised if you find out later he's consulting for BlackRock. That that would be funny as hell. It will be a setup. All of a sudden Gary Gensler, like Crypto Mom, is now working for the same financial entities that he was going after when he was a part of the SEC, and they're giving him $20 million. It's gonna happen. So I didn't watch the whole video. I just maybe saw the first 2 minutes and I knew where it was going. I said, oh, no. Okay, if I'm gonna watch this, let me turn the camera on and allow everybody else to see it with me live and go through how I think when I look at things and give my commentary at the same time. Instead of me watching it, then going in my inner circle and then, y'all, did you know what I just watched? They're talking, no. I'm going to do it live. I think I kind of like these watch parties that has going on. And if you, those who don't know me, before I was with crypto, I was a business mindset coach, and I was a very, very big believer and listener to Jim Rohn about building a financial wall around your house so large that nothing can penetrate it, that you can't control the things that happen to you, but you can control how you respond to the things that happen to you. You need to pay attention to what's going on around you, not just locally, but internationally, geopolitics. How are these things going to impact your finances? It doesn't matter about whether you personally believe in what things should be happening one way or another. That's irrelevant. The world doesn't work based on how you think it should work. You need to understand how it's working and then make moves to put yourself in the best position to benefit from it, good or bad. There's no such thing as bad or negative. It's just an experience. It's a learning experience. And that you can control. So I always believe if you're in a situation where you want to make more money, you want to get out of the rat race, you want to have more than what you currently have right now, then obviously you've got to do more than what you're doing right now. You've got to do something different. You've got to do and start making moves that you haven't been taught before. You have to be open to learn something new. You can't be stuck in your same old way and your own belief, because everything that you have is based on what you believe and where you are and how you think. So if you're not at least open to hearing about anything else, you will always be in your same situation, no matter what you do. It's the rat race, doing the same thing over and over again, yet expecting a different result. So knowing that, I said, okay, I learned something else too. I learned that there is no lack of resources on the planet, in the universe. There's enough resources where every single man, woman, and child can live like a millionaire on this planet. All 8 billion of us. There's enough. We don't live in a world of lack. That is has been designed that way to create competition for scraps by the people who actually control the wealth. So if I want more, then I first need to figure out, where is the wealth going? Where is the river of money that I need to put myself in? If you want to be a millionaire, yet your goal is, I got to go to school, and then after I get all college debt, I get a nice, good job, and you expect that you're going to be a millionaire following that path, then you need to ask the question, are there any millionaires who followed that path? Are there any jobs that once I graduate from college and I go to get hired, any jobs that's going to pay me that type of money for the masses? Well, if I become the CEO of a company, what are the odds of that? Especially if it's a company you didn't start. What are the odds of you becoming that CEO? And how many people do you have to compete with to get there? Could you be the lucky ones that make that? My father was. But as I tried to explain to my dad, that's 1 in a million. So where's the river of money going? And I figured that out. The river of money is going in the blockchain, the future of the internet, the metaverse. And then I asked the next question. If I figured that out, who else has figured it out? The wealthy? But when I looked around at the wealthy, they were saying something different. They were saying, oh, Bitcoin is crap. Bitcoin's a Ponzi. This stuff is, I mean, the government's going to shut it down. This is, criminals are using it. It's used for child trafficking. The terrorists are using it. So I'm like, huh, why are they so mad at it? Banks all against it. And I was hearing that from 2010 to 2016. And that during that time, I actually listened to all that BS. I'm like, yeah, man, it ain't going nowhere. I mean, it's monopoly money. It's not, I mean, cash is king. It ain't going nowhere. And then I heard Bill Gates in 2016 all of a sudden said, Bitcoin can't be stopped. And then I started seeing all these millionaires popping up around over this Bitcoin thing. Then I saw Bitcoin went from 100 to 1,000 and then back down again. Then I bought some Bitcoin. And I flipped it from $640 to $870, and I sold it, which was the stupidest thing in the world. But then I started hearing Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett. Bitcoin's rat poison squared. But then he turns around and spends $500 million on fintech banks. Really? Then I went to my very first blockchain expo in London, and I noticed that it said blockchain, fintech, artificial intelligence. So what exactly are these millionaires and billionaires doing? And that's before I even have my aha moments. That blockchain technology is going to disrupt every single industry on the planet, whether you like it or not, believe it or not, trust it or not. Your opinion of it is irrelevant. And then I started to see some parallels between the internet in the 90s and blockchain today. And what critics were saying about the internet in the 90s, like David Letterman making fun of Bill Gates. And then I realized back then too, I remember I was a teenager. Teenager and then early 20s. I remember not understanding what email was. And then I remember the first movie that came out said, "You got mail." What's that about? You got mail. Why would somebody send an email? I was still writing letters to my girlfriend because we couldn't afford long distance telephone. But this thing called email? And then businesses were like, commercials starting to have www, World Wide Web, take a look at us after the commercial. Why are they doing that? Then people will start going to Blockbuster, and next thing you know, it's all about Netflix. And then businesses realize, if we don't have an internet presence, we're not going to have a competitive advantage in business. So whether we like it or not, we better be on the internet. And then you fast forward to what the internet looks like 15 years later, 20 years later. Same thing's going to happen with the blockchain. Businesses are going to realize if we don't have a digital presence, if we don't, not internet presence, but digital ownership on the blockchain, if we aren't positioned to be doing financial transactions that can happen instantaneous with the blockchain, we're not going to have a competitive advantage. Common sense was telling me this, not some Facebook internet keyboard warrior. And then I said, let me start listening to what these millionaires and billionaires are saying. But they still were being negative about it. But then their businesses were doing something different. Bank of America had 70 patents on blockchain technology at the same time as they were shutting down anyone who had a business account that used that business account to buy Bitcoin. They'd freeze your account. But then they had 70 patents on blockchain technology. They're saying one thing and they're doing something different. But I'm going to listen to some clown on Facebook talking about, Bitcoin, cash is king. I think I even called out somebody years ago. Was it Stormy? I think it was Stormy Wellington I called out. And I love Storm, but she had said some foolishness one day. And I had to call her out on it. And then you realize nobody's going to be in charge of your finances and help you out except you. Not your bank, not your friends, not your family, not your job. You are responsible for that. So following the river of money. So what I want to do right now, I'm going to do this live because this is what I have been doing for 7 years when I do my research. I'm going to watch this video and I want to see if it confirms what I have all been saying. If you're in the inner circle, you're going to say, yeah, Brandon been saying this. Only now you're hearing it from billionaires. There's one clown on Facebook running around talking about NFTs are dead. Are you crazy? The entire world is going to be NFT'd. Tokenized. Everything's going to be tokenized. Tokenized assets, tokenized real estate, tokenized stocks and bonds, tokenized finances. Your home will be tokenized. Everything will be in an NFT. I got to find that old video. How many of you guys remember that video I made? It was in response to a video that Stormy made, because Stormy was shitting all over crypto in her car, talking about cash is king. Now, the reason why she was doing it, I understand, because at that time, there was crypto companies or crypto network marketing companies coming out, and they were trying to make Bitcoin or crypto the product, and they were scams. And people's first introduction into Bitcoin were through these companies. So the businesses that she had in network marketing, people in her team were starting to get involved with these things and were starting to talk to other people in her downline about these things. So it's not necessarily that she was trying to shit on crypto. She didn't understand it, but she wanted to stop the foolishness of people running to these scam opportunities. But since she invoked crypto, I still had to call her out on it. You can be right and wrong at the same time. All right. Her intent was she's trying to protect the people from scams. But her way of doing it was by acting as if Bitcoin and crypto was the scam. And that's not the scam. The product was not the scam. The way it was being marketed, it was. So like I said, I have much respect for her. Everything that she's accomplished, she was just wrong on that topic. I wonder if she'd say the same thing today. Oh, she doesn't seem that type of person that would backtrack on something she said. But fast forward to today, and I'm going to play this video. And I'm going to watch this video with you guys so I can stop, pause, and rewind it at certain points. Like I said, this is a modified crypto talk this morning. I'm actually hyped up. I'm very excited about the position we're in. I always believe it's not about accumulating tokens or coins. It's about getting yourself positioned and invest in businesses that is taking advantage of this blockchain technology. And after our showcases last Friday, I'm very excited about where we sit today. So let's go ahead and play this and let's see what we can gain. Now, again, this is a clip from Altcoin Daily. I am streaming on YouTube. No copyright infringement intended, period. I do not own the rights to this or anything. All right, let's go.
18, we told you to invest in Bitcoin. BlackRock told you to stay away from Bitcoin. This is CEO Larry Fink lying to you about BlackRock's interest in cryptocurrency.
Is it true that you're building out a cryptocurrency capability?
All right, let me remind you guys, for those of you who have never seen a watch video with me, I am very big on body language. I read body language more than I read what's coming out of somebody's mouth. And that actually, the reason why I started doing that young, because I was born with chronic ear infections. And I even lost my hearing in my left ear when I turned 40, 7 years ago. So when I was young, I learned to read lips and read body language to understand what somebody was saying, because I didn't understand how to express. I don't know what you're saying. It's like It's weird. It's like how a kid compensates for a deficiency. So I am very big on body language, and when I look at his body language, he can't hide it. There's certain people that don't have poker faces. They can't hide how they feel, and he is one of them. He can't, no matter what he says, whether he's for crypto or against crypto, he can't hide it. So I'm going to highlight some of these things as well. So the first question about crypto, his mouth is saying one thing and his body is saying something different. He's lying. So let's back up.
Interest in cryptocurrency.
Is it true that you're building out a cryptocurrency capability?
No. I mean, we're...
Why did it have to go like that? All he had to say was no. No, we don't believe in that. No. And then the last thing he says after he blinks twice, he does this. He affirms it. Let me back up.
Is it true that you're building out a cryptocurrency capability?
No. I mean, we're looking at it. We're looking at blockchain technologies, and we're looking at all the
But
crypto...
blockchain isn't crypto. Blockchain is just the underlying technology. Well, don't your clients want crypto exposure?
No. I don't believe any client has sought out crypto exposure.
Really?
Yes.
But at some point they might. Do you need to be prepared?
There's something in his eye. Blinking. Nobody sought it out. I don't believe anybody sought it out.
Crypto exposure.
Really?
Yes.
But at some point they might. Do you need to be prepared?
I don't, at the moment, no. I have not heard from any one client they're looking to buy a cryptocurrency at this time.
See, okay, another thing you guys need to know about billionaires or men of influence, and if you're brand new and you've never really listened to me before, when you have influence like this and you're speaking publicly, you watch carefully what you say, because words that you say can move the market. Words that you say can impact your investors, your stock market, your shareholders, your company's bottom line, the future. So they're very careful on what they say. And he is thinking at the same time as he's talking, and he's trying to figure out what to say to walk that fine line. So he pauses and he hesitates. So he's trying to pick the right words, but his body is what's the word I want to use? His body is going against him, is betraying him. That's the word. So just watch carefully.
So exposure.
Really?
Yes.
But at some point they might. Do you need to be prepared?
I don't, at the moment, no. I have not heard from any one client they're looking to buy a cryptocurrency at this time. But right now, I can tell you it.
I just caught some. I didn't even catch that the first time I said it. He's careful here. BlackRock is looking for a Bitcoin ETF, exchange traded fund, which means their clients are not actually buying Bitcoin, but they're able to invest in positions of it. So they can make money off of it without having the inherent risk of owning it. So he uses word carefully. He didn't say, he said, we don't have any clients looking to buy Bitcoin. None of your clients are buying anything. So he legally told the truth. But if he said invest, he'd be publicly lying. So he didn't use he was about to say that. And he went back and said, buy Bitcoin. That wasn't the question. I didn't catch that the first time. This is why I watch this stuff over and over and over again.
No, I have not heard from any one client they're looking to
You see, he was about to say invest. And he stopped. Hold up.
At the moment, no. I have not heard from any one client they're looking to buy a cryptocurrency at this time. But right now, I can tell you it worldwide. I have not heard from one client who said, I need to be in this.
Larry Fink lied to you about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency while he made moves behind the scenes. Reminder, this is Larry Fink just 5 years later.
And as I said, I do believe a lot of crypto is an international asset. It has a differentiating value versus other asset classes, but more importantly, because it's so international, it's going to transcend any one currency and currency valuation. If you just look at the value of our dollar, how it depreciated the last two months and how much it appreciated over the last 5 years, I mean, an international crypto product can really transcend that. And that's why we believe there's great opportunities, and that's why we're seeing more and more interest. And that interest is broad-based worldwide.
We knew
What changed in 5 years that he's publicly saying that? See, another thing that I learned about billionaires too is by the time they reverse on what they've been saying, they've already built their foundation. They're ready to move forward. They're not afraid of leaking information to their competitors because you keep things to your chest. You don't want your competition to kind of know what you're doing until it's too late. So at this point, they already have the game plan, the roadmap, and it is being implemented. And now he's shilling it publicly. He's getting the word out publicly because he knows when he speaks, the others are going to start to move, figuring out, wait a minute, BlackRock's making a move. Why? And we better do the same thing. Fidelity, everyone else is going to follow suit. But it's too late by this point. Well, it's not too late for them, but the fact that as being a leader it is because BlackRock is already leading the way. So now you see a difference in his behavior.
That's why we believe there's great opportunities, and that's why we're seeing more and more interest. And that interest is broad-based worldwide.
We knew this would happen. I told you this would happen. And doing one thing while saying another, it's kind of par for the course for these Wall Street types.
On September 12th, Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin.
This is September 12th. 2017. That timeline is very important to me because that's the month that I officially went all in on Bitcoin and crypto, meaning that I knew I was in a point in my life where this had to work. That was one of my almost lowest points in my business life. And I started just 13 days before with $30. And I flipped that $30 into six figures in 3 months. So, but at this point, I was dialed in on crypto. I had to make this work. And at that same time, Jamie Dimon was going out there talking about Bitcoin is crap. Being the reason why is because my father heard that as well. And he called me up. He said, well, Jamie Dimon is saying, are you sure about doing this? Jamie Dimon is saying that, Bitcoin is a scam and he's going to fire anybody from his bank that's doing this. So I remember this clearly because I was getting pushback because of it. But watch what he ends up doing.
Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
So he, again, shit it all over it, told his daughter she's stupid for buying it, says somebody's going to get killed. I'm going to fire anybody from my bank that's engaging in trading on Bitcoin. 24 hours later, he buys up the most Bitcoin assets out of the European markets through the Swedish exchange. Follow what they do, not what they say.
He says it's a fraud. It says he'll fire anyone that buys it. Yes.
And at the same time, his company is buying it.
His company is buying it.
It's just, so unethical.
Or how about George Soros?
George Soros, in January 24th, price was already down, calls Bitcoin a bubble, says Bitcoin is the worst, the worst investment in the world. Don't buy Bitcoin. Basically throws gasoline on the fire at this point. And then what do we find out? So he says bubble here.
It drops 44%.
Right. And then here in April, 2 months later, guess what we find out?
Yeah.
His $26 billion family office has approval to buy cryptocurrency.
Oh, you don't say. Here's something else about millionaires and billionaires. They don't follow retail investors. They make their own rules. In fact, they don't believe the current rules even apply to them. So they will do whatever unhanded thing to do to always be in their benefit. I experienced this again in crypto, 2017, when reports of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and the CBOE were going to have positions with futures in crypto. And the entire crypto community was like, oh, the big guys are coming. The people with real money is coming. Bitcoin's going to go to the moon. Bitcoin started off 2017 at $1,000. By December, if you look between September and December, it jumped to $20,000 on December 17th, 2017. Do you know what else happened? Why that date? It stopped. And then it reversed course to come down December 17th. The same day, the CBOE was first, went live. Everybody thought it was going to go up. It did the opposite. Why? Because here's how wealthy people think. Wait, you mean to tell me all the broke, poor people out there that don't know nothing about trading got Bitcoin all the way up to $20,000 a coin? When at the beginning of the year, it was only $1,000. We went in on this. We went in, but we're not buying it at no freaking $20,000 a coin. They manipulated the market to drop. And all the uneducated retail people that don't know nothing about finance, but they want to get rich quick off of Bitcoin, got scared, FOMO, and started selling. And then the more it kept coming down, the more they kept selling. Most of them bought Bitcoin, not when it was at 1,000 at the beginning of the year, but they bought the FOMO of it in late October and November when it reached $4,000, $5,000, and then shot up in 5 weeks to 12,000, 14,000, 15,000. That's when everybody, all the broke people started buying in because they didn't want to miss out. And then when it started to come down, they were selling it when it was at 12,000, 10,000 and below. See, rule number one, you buy low, you sell high. You don't buy high and sell low. So the big boys shook the tree. All the uneducated people sold their crypto, and then they swooped in and bought the dip. Jamie Dimon did it. George Soros does it. They all do it. This is why I said education is important. This is also why I do the opposite of what the news says. If Kramer is out there running his mouth, I do the opposite. You'll win 90% of the time. So check this out. Let me go back because I went off on a tangent there.
34%.
Right. And then here in April, 2 months later, guess what we find out?
Yeah.
His $26 billion family office has approval to buy cryptocurrency.
Right. And we only knew about it publicly here. And this is the kind of thing that George Soros is famous for this.
The oldest trick in the book. If you want to buy a lot of something, what do? You shit on it. Right? When George Soros wanted to corner the market in copper, right? What did he do? He didn't go out and buy a bunch of copper. He went out and sold a bunch of copper and spread rumors that copper was going to zero. Then you swoop in and buy a whole bunch after the price collapses.
So you've got to look at this preponderance of evidence, right? All these people are already wealthy. All these people care about their reputation. If Bitcoin is such a trashy asset.
Hold on. I want to see that board again.
All these people care.
Let's see. Wellington Capital, Susquehanna, New Goldman Sachs CEO, BlackRock, the Rothschilds. You guys can hear me when I talk about the river of money. The wealthy people are already in the middle of the river, benefiting from the current system. And when they see that change is on the horizon, they don't like the change. They don't want the change because they're already on top. But when they realize it's inevitable, they don't want you to know that yet. So while they're pulling up anchor and ready to move in the new direction of money, they're telling all of you, oh, there's nothing to see over here. It's crap. It's not going nowhere. And then all of a sudden, when you realize that the river of money changed, you look up and they're still in the middle of the river. It's like they didn't get hurt after talking bad about it. I have people tell me all the time, "No, what do you know, Brandon? That billionaire saying something different. You're not a billionaire. I should listen to that billionaire." Okay.
Care about their reputation. If Bitcoin is such a trashy asset, why are all these people getting involved?
Today, we're seeing something just like this again.
You see these three names? They're not the richest people, billionaires out of all billionaires. They're billionaires, but they're not the wealthiest billionaires. However, they have their influence. See, there's a difference between wealth and power and influence. Power and influence is not dependent upon just wealth, because an influential person can move wealth. Larry Fink has direct and indirect power over about $25 trillion. Okay? The right in America and the Republicans believe that George Soros is freaking Emperor Palpatine in the world. Darth Vader's, master. Jamie Dimon running one of the largest banks in America. Larry Fink, the largest investment firm on the planet. They all said one thing, but they're doing something different. So, as you, the little guy, what should you be doing? At some point, you got to stop being a pawn. Being manipulated. Because to them, we're nothing but pawns in this game.
Today, we're seeing something just like this again. See, you may think that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is dead, or dead in America, or about to get severely wounded, because that's what they want you to think. Except this time, they can't hide what they're doing in the background. I'm talking about this Citigroup news. Citigroup debuts token service in latest foray into digital assets.
Your company this morning announcing tokenized deposits using blockchain technology. What exactly are we talking about here?
This morning we announced Citi token services for cash and trade that we've done live pilot transactions. So truly future-proofing Citi's infrastructure with tokens. So really excited to be here and share the details.
Hey, join us at Bitcoin Amsterdam October 12th and 13th. This is an epic Bitcoin conference. Use code AltcoinDaily, 10% off tickets. Get this ticket or get this ticket. Ticket prices increase as we get closer to the event. So many awesome speakers are being added every single day. Use code AltcoinDaily for 10% off. Hope to see you there. Citigroup's new offering turns customer deposits into digital tokens. Pilot program focuses on trade finance and cash management. This sounds good, right? And to be clear, this is good. This is the good part.
Can I break down what exactly this means and why it's important for Citi beyond, innovation and innovating for the sake of innovating?
Yeah. So if we think about this digital frontier that we've entered, where clients want always on 24/7, 365 infrastructure. So if you think you're a large multinational client where you have multiple bank accounts in multiple different regions across border, and you keep buffers of cash in each of these regions, it's really an inefficient use of cash. So think of the future where you can do just-in-time funding. If it's Saturday or it's Friday night, 5 p.m. in the US and 5 a.m. in Singapore, but you need to get money there, you can send that immediately within seconds. And I think that really adds that kind of like that benefit for clients. And then the programmability is also a really important functionality that we're adding. So our, city token services for trade with smart contracts to be able to, and again, a smart contract is just a series of, if this happens, then do that. So, if this contract, is executed, then release the funds, and fully automated, no paper, really enabling clients for that, always on infrastructure.
Here, Citigroup explains their future plans for tokenization. This is also the good part.
How do you see Citi expanding on these capabilities down the road?
Yeah, so we built this platform on a ERC20 EVM compatible protocol, which is really important. There's a lot of legislation out there in the marketplace right now in regards to stablecoins and crypto. And if any of these bills pass and our clients want to start using these, we'll have an enabled platform. So having this ERC20 token, which will be fungible, today, day one, we're doing it for tokenized deposits, cash management, efficiencies in trade, but really future-proofing.
Does any of this sound like they just figured this out yesterday? Or something they might have been working on for about 5 to 10 years? Look at her, Citigroup. and I guarantee you, majority of the people who bank with them and do business with them believe that Citi was all negative about crypto. Oh, they said that it's, you got to use government money. Bitcoin is not, it's a scam. It's used for illegal activities. Does it sound like that's what they've been doing all this time? Listen to her.
And working with clients to build this out. So, we mentioned Maersk, which is one of our pilot clients, and really helping to build out the functionality in our roadmap, which includes not just a Citi token. We want to work with other banks, like we've done on the regulated liability network with the Fed and other banks. Like, clients don't want, individual bank tokens. They want multi-token, multi-border liquidity for added efficiency.
So isn't that interesting? Citigroup.
What exactly is Citigroup lying about? They're lying to you about their future plans for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and permissionless blockchains. Listen to how she answers this question and understand we've seen this before.
And I think what you just said means that you are using a permissioned version of the Ethereum blockchain, but public blockchains, I know it's early in the game and this is, the way you're doing it now is the way you have to do it, but do you ever see there being a day or a reason for a city itself or for a bank in general to implement public blockchains?
It's going to really depend on regulation, in my opinion, because right now it's only permissible for us to be on a permission chain. So if regulation changes and regulators get comfortable with public, we will definitely go down that route. But right now, from a regulatory standpoint, we're sticking with permission. So it really depends, I think, on that. And as you know, tonight we've talked about in the past, it's very bifurcated across the.
She's lying. They already know it's going to happen. And one reason why is politicians are put in office not by you, the people, but by whoever's funding them. They're chosen. They're selected. So they're not worried about Gary Gensler running his mouth or anything because they're going to hire him later on. Everybody's playing a role right now because they're all, it's a big board of chess. And the people is playing chutes and ladders while they're playing chess and they're making moves. Like I said, the Fed coin is not in discussion. The decision has already been made. They're just waiting when they decide when they're going to pull the trigger on it. So she already knows. Yeah, the permissionless side is already, it's going to come. They probably even know when it's going to happen. And everything that they do is getting ready for it. It's the same reason why someone asked me the other day, Brandon, I don't understand. You said that you're preparing for New Year's Eve, but your New Year's is at the end of September. And you begin your new year on October 1st, not January 1st. I said, yeah. I said, well, why do you do that? I said, because I want to sprint into the new year. I don't want to start on the starting blocks. 95% of people say on New Year's Eve, I'm going to make New Year's resolutions. I'm going to lose weight and make money. I got to get a new gym membership. And it all starts January 1st. and you begin it, and knowing that well, most people don't know this, but it takes 3 weeks to a month before your whatever you're beginning becomes a habit, becomes second nature to you. And in that time, most people quit and they go back to how they used to be. That's why, New Year's resolutions really don't work. For me, on the other hand, if I begin my new year on October 1st, I'm giving myself 3 months to develop new habits, to have momentum going. So when January 1st comes in and we flip that time over to the new year, I'm already in momentum going into the new year. Businesses operate the same way. They're not going to wait for all of a sudden regulation to be there to say, all right, guys, regulation's here. Now let's start to build it out. No, they are already building it out first so that when the regulation drops, they're already full speed ahead. The other video I played the other day has Larry Fink saying, and we are leading the way. Jamie Dimon, last time I did the crypto storm is coming, what does the quote say? That there's a financial hurricane on its way. And regardless, guess what? We are prepared. We are ready for it. You don't get ready for the hurricane the day it lands. You got 3 or 4 days head notice that it's coming. What are you doing in those 3 to 4 days to prepare? It's like I learned this skill as a kid with that Disney cartoon about the ants and the grasshopper. When the sun is out and shining and everything, the grasshopper wanted to play, but the ants were busy working. And then all of a sudden, when the weather turned and there's no more food and then weather's bad, the ants are partying because they got a harvest set up to survive that storm. And the grasshopper's hungry because now he's trying to look for food and there's no food left. How are you living your life right now? Are you waiting? Even in my business, I hear people, when the game launches, then I'll get involved. when this happens, then I'll get involved. So most people live their life. It's easy for you to say, Brendan, when I make money, I'll do that too. No, I had that thought before I started making money. I started doing these moves before I made money. That's why I'm making money. All right, let me keep going. I'll go off on a different tangent. We're almost finished here with this.
Different regions, right? Between the US, EMEA, Asia, the different regulations coming out in this space. So it'll be, I think, more to come kind of in the future on that. But, we're making it where we are future-proofing our system, that if that does happen, we can move to a public chain.
The fact is, Citigroup is actively researching, writing reports on, and most likely accumulating Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, and other permissionless crypto assets. They're all doing it. All of them. And just like back in 2018, we're here to shed light on the truth. Subscribe to Altcoin Daily. We post one video every day, keeping you informed on the entire cryptocurrency market.
All right. Now, after showing all of that, I am going to play one more video. Now that you see this, you see what's going on, I'm going to go back to Larry Fink because this video is important. Brandon, you play this all the time. I watch this video at least once a day. Once a day. Let's see. Because when somebody that can control $25 trillion is making moves and you're trying to make money, you need to pay attention. So let's go back to Larry Fink.
That you're building out a cryptocurrency capability?
No. I mean, we're looking at it. We're looking at blockchain technologies, and we're looking at all the
crypto. Blockchain isn't crypto. Blockchain is just the underlying technology. Well, don't your clients want crypto exposure?
No, I don't believe any client has sought out crypto exposure.
Really?
Yes.
But at some point they might. Do you need to be prepared?
I don't, at the moment, no. I have not heard.
That wave right there he was signaling to the dude to basically shut up. You're doing too much. You asked the question, I answered it. You're not supposed to follow up. It should have, as far as he's concerned, after that first question, it should have been gone. Right.
Yes.
right?
Don't your clients want crypto exposure?
No. And we're looking at all the crypto.
No, right?
No. I mean,
I got to go to the beginning. Okay. He asked a question, and it should have been the end of that, but the reporter kept digging on him.
No. I mean, we're looking at it. We're looking at blockchain technology.
Then he says, we're looking at blockchain technology. That wasn't the question. He's talking about Bitcoin.
And we're looking at all the crypto.
Blockchain isn't crypto. Blockchain is just the underlying technology. Well, don't your clients want crypto exposure?
No, I don't believe any client has
So now he asks a second question, and he's still pushing. Let's go.
sought out crypto exposure.
Really?
Yes.
Now he's getting mad. He's looking at him like, if we were in my boardroom right now, I'd be cussing you the F out and kicking you out the room. But I'm on live TV, so I've got to hold my composure.
But at some point they might. Do you need to be prepared?
I don't.
Now watch his hand. He does this. Dismissive. Like, get out of here. Like, man, who is this guy? Y'all, this is supposed to be a different interview. You guys got me in this clown. Get him out of here. He's asking too much. Watch his hand movement.
At the moment, no. I have not heard from any one client they're looking to buy a cryptocurrency at this time. But right now, I can tell you it worldwide. I have not heard from one client who said, I need to be in this.
BlackRock, the most powerful asset manager in the world with a $10 trillion portfolio, is investing in cryptocurrency.
This is not going to be an easy task. Capital is moving, and it's going to move very rapidly. I believe
the river is moving, and it's going to be moving very rapidly. That's what he's telling his billionaire friend, Bill Gates.
I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. We will, and if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling.
What was that? We all have our what? And he looked right at it. That wasn't an accident. That was a message to the people who run the planet.
Have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement.
Do not be fooled. Don't let Larry Fink's friends go on TV and convince you not to buy this time around. While Hillary and friends continue to sow fear, uncertainty, and doubt about crypto into the minds of the general public, BlackRock has been forced to disclose that they're into it.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important.
Now there's a change in his behavior. He wasn't ready to unveil this in the first clip. Now look at his body language. He's sitting back. His legs are crossed. His shoulders are down. His head is kind of elevated. He's speaking with his hands. He's confident. In his mind, it's already game over. You just don't know it yet. They're already positioned.
Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing.
And then listen to the words he's using, the adjectives. He didn't say we're part of a huge movement. We're part of a new trend. We're part of an emerging technology. No. He says revolution.
Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing.
He used a code again when he said many people. Especially since I've lost hearing, I need to actually learn sign language. I think that's a skill set that will benefit me later. But I'm reading his sign language right now and who he's talking to. And when he says many people believe, he's talking about his other partners that may not be on this yet, and he's speaking to them. Just watch. Move back further.
Revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in an index, in ETFs, are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now.
The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. The bond market, how big is that? Oh, I'm not sharing screen the right way. Hold on. What number where I'm at? 2 minutes and 11 seconds. All right. Let me share screen. Oh, not crypto bubbles. Wow, where is it? No. Oh, here we go. The entire bond market. Oh, you guys still aren't seeing my screen. Let me move. Yes, yeah, you see my screen now. Okay. All right. This is crypto. This is Bitcoin. This is crypto's money. And then let's get to where the bonds are. Billionaires, gold, Fortune 500, stock markets, money supply, global debt, global real estate. Didn't he say tokenization? Global wealth, derivatives. Oh my gosh, derivatives has just exploded. So let's go back to the stocks and bonds. Stocks markets. Look at this. $89.5 trillion. And what did he say? The entire market is being, what was it, changed, taken over? So this is what he's talking about. This is why he's so excited. Because this is where crypto is right now. And what if it just got 2%, 5% of that money? So let's go back. To the video.
I believe the next generation buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. We will, and if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. I mean, the transformation, think about it, instantaneous settlement, bonds and stock, no middlemen. We're going to bring down fees even more dramatically. As for me, I don't have to vote on any shares anymore because the beneficial owner will do all the voting.
And by the way, this isn't the first time he's said this. Larry Fink has been vocal on this.
This is one of the reasons why I'm focusing on the whole idea of blockchain for security.
The reason why I'm focused. What does a billionaire focus on? You know, what is a billionaire's day like? Are they on the beach 24/7? No. In fact, they don't actually like that. When they're on beaches and vacations, you know, they've already done that so many times. They can't wait to get back to the office. You know. So what is a man who controls $25 trillion focused on? He's telling you what I'm focused on.
Vocal on this.
This is one of the reasons why I'm focusing on the whole idea of blockchain for securities.
Blockchain for securities is his whole focus.
Look forward to the day when we can tokenize stocks and bonds.
Tokenize stocks and bonds.
That every stock and every bond, we could identify immediately who is the beneficial owner. And this is why we're working on it. And every beneficial owner from an individual.
He said, and this is why we're working on it. Not taking advantage of it, He wants to create the space.
To an institution have the ability to vote, to democratize every single vote. And that's where we want to take this, and we're leading that effort.
And we're leading that effort. How he go from, no, we don't have nobody that wants the interest in that. We're not focused on, we're not doing anything with blockchain and crypto and all that. It sounds interesting, but we're not involved in that. To we're leading that effort.
Oh, I actually believe most of the companies are not going to be around. I still believe that. I do believe
because they're now real, they're frauds, they're what?
Well, I mean, think about FTX. I mean, you could look back now. FTX created its failure was it's creating its own token. It was not a DeFi. It wasn't a
capability. Hold up. I didn't catch that the first time or the first 10 times.
Well, I mean, think about FTX. I mean, you could look back now. FTX created its failure was it's creating its own token. It was not a DeFi.
Right there. I didn't catch that before. I was so focused on everything else. FTX's failure was that it created its own token. It was not a DeFi. Because FTX is a centralized exchange. Why am I all up on Vara and dark fusion technology? Decentralized exchange on the layer 2 protocol Bitcoin network. DeFi. Why did I write an entire course for my ILCA on decentralized finance, Metaverse, NFTs? Because Jamie Dimon, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Fink, they all are moving their businesses in this direction. And he just said it right here. FTX's problem was that it was not DeFi. I missed that before.
Look back now. FTX created its failure was it's creating its own token. It was not a DeFi. It wasn't a ledger that was open to the world. It was a closed ledger.
Right.
It was not distributed. So the whole foundation of what crypto is, it's supposed to be distributed.
Wait. So now you're educating us on crypto? When that happened? Who are you, Satoshi Nakamoto now? A few years ago, you're like, I don't know nothing about it. Now he's like, hey, this. The whole purpose of crypto is, really? Did you just discover that, or did you always know that? That is like me knowing what I know, going back to 2017, but saying, I'm not going to do crypto talks. I'm not going to create ILCA. I'm just going to use this knowledge and see how I can enrich myself. In fact, I might lie to everybody else about crypto while I do the opposite. Let me listen to this again.
A ledger that was open to the world. It was a closed ledger.
Right.
It was not distributed. So the whole foundation of what crypto is, it's supposed to be a distributed ledger that is across the system.
That's all I have to say. Why I am doing what I'm doing. Why I am focused here. There are so many other opportunities out there. And that doesn't mean that I say no to. That doesn't mean that they're bad. That doesn't mean that I can't succeed in it or that you can't succeed in it. I have no problems admitting and saying the hottest thing out there in the networking space right now is freaking Live Good. They are killing the game. If I got involved with that, I would kill the game too. But that does not follow where my focus is on becoming a billionaire in this space where the river of money is flowing. If the billionaires and the shadow men behind the government of the world is focused and moving in that direction, I need to be as well, at least picking up the crumbs that's fallen off, and then taking that money and flipping it and developing it and investing in this technology. Why am I all on the gaming company? Because you still don't understand. It ain't even about the game. It's about the technology. Being there first. That's why I'm all over Vara and why I came out of retirement. So that is all I had to share for today. I told you I wanted to do a modified crypto. Thank you, Melissa from the UK, for dropping that video this morning, because that falls right in line with everything that I'm already working on and talking about. Yeah, you're right. He was shooing the interview off. He was like, get out of here. Probably when the cameras shut down, he was probably like, he cursed that dude out. It was like, hey, don't ever ambush me like that again. So we continue doing what we're doing because the time is running out. I'm getting a little angsty. I'm getting a little nervous. Bitcoin halving is next year. I was in this position before in 2019, and I fumbled the ball in 2020. I made, like a basketball coach will say to his basketball player who is in a slump, as long as you're taking good shots, that's all I'm asking for. Sometimes it'll go in, sometimes it won't. But at least you got to take the shot. I remember my coach was more mad at me passing up an open shot than me taking the shot and missing it. I'm upset with myself that I missed the shot. But the coach is like, all right, you'll get it next time. This is what we practice for. But if I get that open shot and then I fumble it and I pass it away and I don't take the shot, he was on my ass. I had to run suicides in practice. So at least if I go back to 2019 and 20 and all the shenanigans that was going on, at least I was taking my shots. They just didn't fall through. Now we're in that same position again. I'm not fumbling the ball this time. April 2024. I am not fumbling the ball. From now until then, we need to be in accumulation mode. We need to accumulate as much as we possibly can, as best you can. You don't have to be involved with what I'm doing. You can make a boatload of money and live good, but what are you going to do with that money? You take that money and you build your bag on the crypto side. Get crypto educated so you know what to do with the money once you make it. Whatever you're doing, I don't care. But we got a short window of opportunity. And after that, really, the next 5 years, and then the gold rush will be over for most people. We only have 5 years before the gold rush is permanently gone. And it will be a rich man's game after that, and everybody else will just be puppets. What are you going to do with it? All right, that is it. My Diamond class members, for those of you who actually want to be in the inner circle, because the inner circle is not shocked by anything I'm saying right now. We talk about this every doggone day to our inner circle. But if you want to be in our inner circle and part of our community, go to ilcasecrets.com/sales page. Join our inner circle. It's only $49 a month to be in our inner circle to get this information. Tonight I have a diamond class. We are doing, I think, we've got NFTs tonight. We're still on NFTs. Oh yeah, we're doing strategies in NFTs and fashion. Last week we did NFTs. So we got strategies in NFTs and fashion tonight. And tomorrow I will be doing a Vara International presentation at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. That's tomorrow. An international presentation. And I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm back to Inner Circle Crypto Talk tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning we'll get back on point with our inner circle in our lessons. So I hope you guys have an enjoyable day. Hope you learned something new. I'll see you all next time. Take action. Bitcoin Brandon out. Bye-bye.